cloud. All right, welcome to week, I think it's 35 of Homemade with TGP. Welcome back to my tiny kitchen. Today we're gonna make my favorite nephew's favorite recipe. I could say he's my favorite nephew because he's my only nephew. And so it's a no-bake chocolate peanut butter pie, which is so great. Now, the ingredients list I gave you guys was for what?
We're hearing you twice. Oh, no, you were not, sorry.
Okay, so the ingredients list I gave you is for the full pie. I am actually cutting it in half because I am going to use a 7-inch springform pan because I really don't need too much of this in my house because it's very rich and it's delicious, and sadly I'll be the only one eating it.
Dina, do we have a low-fat recipe?
No, I mean, if you want to use, like, I guess, light peanut butter. I don't know.
Well, I was looking at the recipe, and I know you're starting, but I was just looking at the recipe.
No, go ahead.
We eat sunflower butter or almond butter or whatever, and they're all light Oreos. Like, I was trying to see if every single line we could do something a little healthier. So if you did light Oreos,
you could probably do the Oreo thins, but you might need more.
Yeah, so if you need more of the Oreo thins,
Right.
it's probably the same.
So, like, I could tell you, I bought the family pack size of double stuff because there will still be, because there will be more of these left in the house, you know, just to have as a snack. So everything I'm doing is cut in half. So it's just easier for me. So first I'm going to take, instead of, you're supposed to do you should use 2 full sticks of butter. So I'm taking half a stick of butter. I'm going to stick it in the microwave to melt that for the first part. Melt 1. Okay. So what's so great about this is the only big utensils that you really need is either a food processor. You could use a blender. They also say you can use a Ziploc bag where you put the Oreos in there, you know, you bang it and stuff. I don't do that because it's too chunky. I like it to be because this is your Oreo crust, it's the crust of the pie. So you want it to be as thin and small pieces, that way it can make a nice pie crust. If you want to cheat, you could buy the Oreo pie crust. That's the already made one. However, if you're making, that's only if you're going to make it dairy. Even though Oreos are considered parb, even though they in some houses, my sister, who is more observant, considers them to be parb. Even though they're made in a dairy factory, there's nothing dairy in them, to be in all honesty. So
I'm sorry, Dina, it's their OUD?
So there's an OUD on the package,
but there's nothing dairy in
it. Yeah. So
do they make Oreo crumbs? I know they make Oreo pie shell.
They probably do, just like they make graham cracker crumbs.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what I'm going to do, because now it's going to get a little loud, is I'm going to put, they say to use 36, but that's the regular ones. So I'm going to put in, let's see, 1, 2, this is 5. I'm going to put in half of that. So 16, right?
18.
1, 2. Thank you. I'm just not, so my brain is not here today. 5, that's 8.
What's the difference? 16, 18?
Seriously. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I'm putting 18 of those, and now those will go on top of the fridge so we can't really see them, into the food processor. And I'm just gonna pulse it, so sorry for the noise. And then I want it to get really crummy. I know it sounds funny to say. And now I'm going to actually just pour the butter in, the melted butter in. That's pretty hot, that bowl. Hold on. Okay, I have to figure out how to do this without spilling all over the place. Okay, so I'm gonna pour the melted butter in, which I've made this parve many times where you just use margarine instead. And then I'm gonna pulse some more. Yeah, that should be good. All right, it's such an easy recipe, seriously. And it's kind of like having a Reese's peanut butter cup with Oreos. So if you like Reese's peanut butter cups, it's a little, you know, much, but if you like Reese's and you like Oreos, this is the way to go. So I'm gonna take this and take out my little blade thing. And I'm gonna pour it into my spring form and push it all down and have it go up a bit on the sides. Like, especially if you're using a pie dish, you're going to want it to go up on the sides a bit. So it's like a pie crust, right? And having a
Dina, what's the consistency right now?
So it's still a little crummy and it's a little wet because of the butter, the melted butter. So I'll show you in a second when I get this all out of here. Okay. Okay, so here you'll see it's still like, do you see it, Ellen? Ellen, you're eating now. Do you see that it's like, it's a little, it's nice. It's a nice consistency. I can't even explain it. It's a good pie crust. So I'm just gonna flatten it out in here. And then what you do is you put it in the freezer. So that way it will harden. So like I said, it's no bake, which is great. There's no eggs. It's just butter really that you're using to get the Oreo, and the cream from the Oreos also does that. It mushes it together. So I'm just pushing it down to get it to stick, because when you put then you'll put it in the freezer, and then it won't fall apart in there also when you put the next mixture in. Okay, so if you see, I put it in as like it's all hard down there. Now I got some Oreos there. I'm gonna just stick it in the freezer. So while that is in the freezer, I'm gonna clean this off and stick that in the sink. Now we go to the next part, which means I do not need this anymore. And now I'm going to plug in my mixer, because I like to do things easy and fast. So the mixer is my way of doing that. So what I'm going to do is now I need to get that butter bowl again. And I just need to, it's soft already, so I don't need to stick it in the microwave again to soften it. So now the rest of your butter should be softened because it's been sitting out for a little while. And you're going to put that into your mixer or into your mixing bowl.
Dana, can you use a hand mixer?
You can use a hand mixer, and you could also just use your hands if you want, but that's not me. And then I'm going to take, it's the recipe calls for, I think it was 1.5 cups. So I am only doing 3/4 of a cup of peanut butter because I'm doing half the recipe. And you just stick that in with the butter, which gets really sticky. And then, or margarine if you're gonna make it parve. And then you're gonna put in a cup of powdered sugar, but I'm doing half a cup. And you're just gonna mix it until it's well combined. So it becomes like a really creamy peanut butter mixture, which is a lot easier to use. And then you beat it on low for a while, and then you can up the speed if you want to get that sugar, powdered sugar. So while this is mixing, I see Bonnie, is that Eliza with you? Bonnie and Eliza, we would like you to do something with us in August, sometime later this month. So either the 15th or the 22nd, if you could pick one date, pick up a recipe, we would love to have you, Eliza.
Oh, Tina, I'm on vacation those 2 weeks.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
We'll
Well,
do
Eliza,
do it.
Eliza, if you want to do it by yourself, you're more than welcome to also. It's okay. We'll do that in September. We'll have you maybe during in between the Chagim, you'll do something if that's okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yay. Thank you, Eliza. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this up a little higher. Okay, so this is a good consistency. I'm just gonna take this stuff off and see if I can mix it a little bit more, just to get as much mixed in as possible. Because sometimes it just sticks to your spatula and stuff, and you want it to. Okay, just do one more
Tina.
quick. Yes.
Do you ever like try to spray like the beater with like some like ham?
I do, depending on what it is, but since this recipe doesn't really it has butter in it, but it doesn't really call for oil, so I didn't want to. I don't know. It just ham kind of freaks me out when spraying and putting it in something that doesn't need it.
No,
So.
'cause like when we do the honey, we spray
Don't do that.
We
measuring
have an
spoons, so
update.
we-
Alan and I have an update. We used to spray all our pans whenever we were cooking, and
Mhm.
it ruined all the what's that? All the non-stick on your pans. So
Yeah.
now we just take regular olive oil or whatever olive oil, and we just use a little brush, and we don't use those sprays at all anymore because they seem to. Rachel Ray and Alan Wasserman said no good.
All right.
Got it.
So this mixture, if you see, it's still peanut buttery and a little but it falls off the spoon a bit easier than if you were. So it's kind of like a pudding, a thicker pudding. So now I took my pie crust out of the freezer, and I'm just gonna add this in, and then this goes back in the freezer.
Tina, how long do you put in the crust in the freezer for normally?
Probably I put it in for 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Or
Not long.
until I'm done with the mixture. The next one, there's one other one. Hold on. Sorry. After the next one, the next step, it's in for at least an hour. So, but that's the next step, that's because that's the chocolate ganache, which you wanna. So, welcome, Deb.
Hi,
So-
I just got back from a wedding. Sorry I'm late.
Okay,
Did you just work
so
on the crust?
You're just full of weddings, Deb.
It's been 1 week.
all right, so I'm just moving the peanut butter stuff into the pie pan, flattening it out. That way it's all over, covering the entire crust area. And then I'm gonna put it back in the freezer. So now it looks like this, okay? So that's back in the freezer for a while because this next step takes a little bit longer. I can lock this up and move this out of the way. Okay, so now we're gonna make the chocolate topping, which is delicious. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the chocolate chips I measured out already, half a cup, even though it says to do a cup. And I like Ghirardelli milk chocolate. If you're gonna make it dairy, that's the way to go. And so you're gonna add your peanut butter, your extra tablespoon of, you're supposed to 2 tablespoons, extra tablespoon of peanut butter to that chocolate chips bowl. And now I'm going to add the heavy whipping cream into my pot because I have to boil it. And I'm just gonna turn that on.
Okay, Dina, so what could we replace the heavy whipped cream with?
Other than the,
That
Dina, other than the pan that you're cooking in, what's healthy about this?
There is a fat-free
up.
half and half, but I don't know if it would whip up.
is it dairy or is it par? Because also I don't know. If I'm making it dairy, it's going to be my whipping cream. So
No, I know, but if you're looking for a low fat,
Do they make
Right.
light whipping cream?
I don't know. Maybe
light whipping cream is not light. It's just not heavy. No, it's true.
It's not, the best thing is not to eat it.
I wonder,
No,
seriously.
seriously.
Ellen, are you
seriously,
looking
like-
for Parv?
I
I'm
mean,
sorry, say it again?
Are you looking for Parv?
Oh, absolutely.
Remember, I used coconut cream instead of the
you could
Spain
probably do
Invents
that.
milk.
Yeah.
Coconut cream might be a good Parv, and
You know how good coconut with the peanut butter, with the chocolate, that's why I,
Dina, would you recommend this before a stress test? This-
I don't think so.
Okay. So, well, my heavy cream is now boiled. I'm going to pour it into the peanut butter and chocolate chip bowl and let it sit for a few minutes because that way it will melt, which is nice because it'll make it easier to stir and combine. So basically, it's just in there like this, and I let it sit for a few minutes while you're waiting it for the heavy cream to melt the chocolate. And then you're gonna mix it all up, and then you'll take out the chocolate peanut butter, the peanut butter pie that's done already, what you've already got. And it's like a nice chocolate topping, like on top of a Hershey's peanut butter cup. So, I mean, it's a very simple recipe. It's just very fattening.
Bonnie, if we would serve this as part of the kiddish, we wouldn't even have a minion the following week.
I would
So,
come.
I would too.
and I can guarantee you my nephew would be there because I'm probably gonna go to Jersey during the week now just to bring him this.
I said,
Yes.
either you eat it or you don't. That's how I look at it. Get the coconut oil, forget the light cream. You either
I
eat it
agree.
or you don't.
I agree, Bonnie. Totally.
actually-
well, that's why I'm not making it, because that is, I would eat it, the whole thing. Oh,
The
I
only
was gonna-
difference
I
I
was
would do
gonna-
is I would do gluten-free Oreos, but beyond that, I'd leave the rest because gluten-free Oreos taste just like regular Oreos. You don't even know the difference.
ShopRite has gluten-free Oreos, 2 for $6.
Ooh, don't tell me that.
Because Allison's buying them for her friend who has her batch.
Are they good?
Again.
They're
good, the
very
gluten-free?
good. I
Really?
like the double stuff, actually.
Yep, they had double stuff.
The double
So
stuff
Jesse-
gluten-free Oreos are like, yeah, I can't bring them in anymore. I found them. No, I found them and I was like, what the heck? Well, I'm only one sitting here eating them. So, yeah.
All right, so I mixed up the chocolate and the peanut butter and the cream, and it's just so yummy. So I'm gonna take out the peanut butter part, and I'm going to now put this on top and just pour it in there.
Dina, does the top part get really hard or just,
It solidifies, so it's kind of like you're eating chocolate
ooh,
or fudge, or I mean, eventually if
I-
you leave it out enough. Ellen, I actually brought this to your house once.
I think you did. I
Did
think
you
you
eat
did.
it?
I think my sugar,
well, you know,
sugar's
Dina,
still up for
I live very close to you. So, you know,
drop off a
Well,
little.
my-
My
saying.
house is very close to the temple if she wants to bring it. Stop by there one day, I
But
think.
Dina, I thought it was gonna get more like, because you used cream and I thought it was gonna get like more whippy, but it's not.
Oh
It's-
no, it's just to the type of cream they want you to use. Actually, I don't know why you don't whip it, but that's fine.
But Dina, the chocolate's more like you said, fudgy. It's like softer. It's not like a candy bar. right?
Right. So like what's gonna happen is if once it's after it freezes and you have it in the refrigerator, at this point you either put it in the refrigerator, you could freeze it, but I'm gonna put this back in the refrigerator instead of the freezer. That way it'll solidify. And then if you see, it's now covered in chocolate. I just don't want to move it too much because I don't want it to. And I'm just gonna put it in the refrigerator. I'm gonna put it in the freezer for like 15 minutes. And then I'll take it out and put it in the refrigerator for like an hour or so. And then I can eat it.
So wait, it solidifies only in an hour?
Yeah.
So you don't freeze the third layer, you just leave it as it is?
I'm putting it into the freezer for a little bit, but really you could just cover it and put it in the refrigerator for at least an hour.
Did you ever
and-
eat it frozen? Does it come good frozen?
You know what? I'm gonna try that this time because I want to have just a little bit now and then like put the rest in the freezer for like when I just want to have some. Like I'll cut pieces and put it into saran wrap and just use it that way.
Because me personally, I always put peanut butter cups in the refrigerator or the freezer before when I'm gonna
I
eat.
put them in the freezer.
They're good, right?
Yeah, I'm telling all my secrets here. Oreos, Reese's Pieces. Oh my God.
That's why I said that if she never froze it before, because then you could just eat it
I've
like,
never frozen it before, but I think I'm going to tonight. So I'll let you know later this week how it is.
As fattening as it is, I still think it needs like whipped cream on top.
I would put whipped cream on. I put whipped cream on everything. It's very low in calories.
Missing that part, right?
Well,
What,
that's
whipped
really,
Whipped cream is low in calories, so that won't be a problem.
so
The one that
that's
you
the entire
squirt on?
recipe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that
Ready
one.
Whip, that's the way to go.
The Ready Whip, yep.
very
Oh,
low in
that's very good.
calories.
Oh,
So
yeah, very.
this is the entire
is.
recipe. It's very
It's
easy.
low in calories?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good to know.
Not if you eat the whole can.
Well, Lisa, you don't eat. the
I
whole
mean, I
thing.
just, spray it into my mouth a little bit.
You know, no,
All right.
you know, a little more.
I like
little
it with
more.
chocolate. It's good with chocolate pudding, the whipped cream,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is.
right?
Yeah,
It's really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
right, but if you want to keep it parb, you can't do that.
that's
Yeah.
true.
This
Because-
is true.
They have hard whipped cream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not as good.
Yeah. You gotta have the- you
No,
gotta
we,
have
the,
the-
we have the whipped cream that's made from either almond, you're all gonna roll your eyes, almond milk,
No.
and that's made from coconut.
Yeah,
It's
that's good.
delicious.
They
It's
have
right.
that at Trader Joe's. The coconut one is supposed to be
Oh,
really good.
heaven,
Yeah,
heaven.
I heard it's good.
Unfortunately, there's no hush kaka, so we can't like use it.
Oh yeah, I don't use it in my house, only at my house. I do it on my porch.
I mean, it's bad when you live alone, Lisa, and you buy something like ice cream, whatever. You're like, you start eating it and eating it and eating it and eating, and then like it's gone in a day.
Listen, I leave the spoon
Can anybody
in it.
relate? Anybody?
I leave the spoon in it because I figure why dirty an extra spoon? I'm only
There you
gonna go back.
I love it.
It's
I love it.
yeah, it's bad. I've
All right, you know what?
gotten
I'm
into
gonna
some
stop
really bad
recording.
habits.
Maybe
yeah,
you
so-
should.
Oops.
Oops.